Hi guys! So some of you know that I recently caved into temptation and bought a small Erin Condren hardbound planner. And now, as you can see, I have crumbled even further and ended up ordering the large version as well. So I'm really excited to show this to you because I think it's quite an interesting planner and unlike anything else that I know of on the market. So in terms of size, this is quite big. This is how it compares to the small one. The small one is like an A5 slim kind of size. This one, in comparison to my A5 Leuchtturm, it's quite a bit bigger. It's almost like a B5, but I think it's a bit wider than a B5. This is how it compares to the classic size Happy Planner, so you can see it's a bit bigger than that. And then it's a little bit smaller than the big Happy Planner, which is US letter size. So just a little bit smaller than that. So it's quite a big planner. This is something that you would probably want to keep inside and not take around with you. It's also pretty chunky. As you can see, this is an 18-month planner. At the moment, she's only offering these in an 18-month version. There isn't a 12-month version, although it's possible that she'll come out with one in January. I'm not sure. So let me just take this off. This is how it comes. So you can see that I got the linen, which is actually more of a gray color. There are 4 different colors and each one has a different design on the inside. So I picked this one because it has a very colorful inside, the mid-century circles design, which is like a rainbow design that I really like. The other 3 are turquoise, cherry blossom, and black. And they each have a different design. So if you have a look at the hardbound planners on her website, which I'll leave linked down below, you can see the other options and pick the one that you like the best. So as you can see, the front is quite plain and understated. It just has this silver asterisk, the typical Erin Condren asterisk, silver foil there. And then on the side, it says 2017-2018, also in silver foil. The different covers have different color foil. So for example, I think the black one has gold foil and the turquoise one has turquoise foil. So this is what it looks like on the back, also quite plain except that it has the Erin Condren logo in silver foil there. And on the side it has silver foil too. So you can see this is a little bit scuffed. It came like that, but that's the only issue with it and it's quite minor, so I don't really mind that. In terms of the cover, this is a leatherette type cover, but it doesn't really feel like leatherette to me. I thought that it would feel more like the Leuchtturm, say, but it feels very, very smooth and almost a little bit sticky. It kind of feels slightly rubbery. I don't know if I'm describing it very well, but it feels different than any other leatherette, faux leather type hardbound planner cover that I've had. So, like I said, it's really chunky because it's 18 months, and so it's quite heavy, but I think it's very satisfying. It has a really nice feel to it. I feel like the small one also has quite a satisfying feel, but it's a lot smaller. So this one just has this very satisfying, weighty feel to it, which I think is just like really nice to have in your hands. So if we open it, ta-da! This is what attracted me to this particular one, is this beautiful rainbeticle scheme, and I really like the mid-century circles design. So as I mentioned in my video on the small version, this is not quite as bright in terms of the colors as I had expected it to be. I thought that it would be really, really bright and vibrant, and it's somehow a little bit more muted. It's actually coming up a bit brighter on the camera than I feel like it is in real life. So I just wanted to mention that because it's like the colors are slightly more subdued than you might think, but it's still very colorful and rainbetical. So here you have the typical Erin Condren on-the-go life planner vertical layout. This is my life, and then space to put your name, which I never do. And you also have some silver foil here, which is really nice. You see that? And then you go on to this page that says, do all that you can and all that you thought you could not. And a little progress each day adds up to big results. This is the same as what you get on the small one as well, although the rest of it is different. So I might do a comparison video showing you the similarities and differences between the big and the small version if you're trying to decide between them. Then we have an 18-month calendar starting in July 2017 and going to December 2018, which is the range that this planner spans. So I think that's quite nice because you get exactly the same number of months as you will get in the planner itself, and it has this beautiful colorful design at the top. Sunday start, which I've mentioned before, really annoys me. I wish it was a Monday start because the weeks are a Monday start, and I find that really confusing, but that seems to be the norm for North American planners. Then you get this spread which you can use either for different goals, or you could use it for tracking things. It gives you it gives you 12 boxes altogether. So I would think of this as a yearly spread with 1 box per month, but that doesn't really make sense in this context because it's an 18-month planner. So I would prefer to think of it as just a space where you can write 12 different goals or track 12 different things, rather than use it per month, because then you'll end up 6 months short if you do actually use this planner for the full 18 months, which is often a challenge for us planner addicts. And it says, don't call it a dream, call it a plan at the top. Then we go straight into our first monthly spread. So this is something that I like about this planner, the small and the big version, is that they are very to the point, very minimalist. They don't give you a lot of extra stuff at the beginning, which I think is nice. They just give you the essentials that you need. So again, you have a Sunday start, and you get this space for notes on the side. And this is something that's a little bit different from the small version, which I'll just mention briefly. You can see that the smaller version just has this pale color and then even paler color, whereas this one has an extra layer, or it doesn't have the really pale color. It has a much brighter, bolder color and then a paler one. So that's a design difference between the two of those. And the days of the month from the previous month are in gray, and then the actual days of the month that you're on are in black. And this is quite a bit bigger than the one, if you saw my video on the small planner. The one in the small planner does not give you a lot of room, just because it's, you know, such a small scale. You can only write 1 word really per line on this. But this one actually, because it's such a big planner, you could, you know, write a reasonable amount here in the notes pages. So the boxes are also quite big. Let me just show you a comparison to my Hobonichi. This is an A5 Hobonichi, and that's the size of a box, and so you can see that these boxes are a bit bigger. I mean, you'd kind of expect that, seeing as this planner is so much bigger altogether. But you do have quite a bit of room for a goodly amount of writing on here. And it labels US holidays, so like Independence Day, and it labels other holidays, like here you have some Jewish holidays, which I like, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and then, you know, Labor Day and other American holidays. So one other thing to note about this monthly spread is that it has 5 boxes per layout, so yeah, per spread. So if you have a month like this where you get where you have 31 days and it starts on a Saturday, then you'll get some split boxes, which I don't really mind. The Hobonichi does that as well, but it's just something to keep in mind because some planners give you 6 boxes, but then obviously the layout would be smaller for each one. So you have that split box there at the bottom. And then we go straight into the weekly pages. So as you can see, this is a vertical planner, and it has the classic Erin Condren design. I think that this year the spiral bound planners are actually different because the headers have been removed. As far as I know, in this one they're still there. They're not labeled, so it doesn't say morning, afternoon, evening, but it does have the headers. Or maybe it's just in the neutral version, in the spiral bound planner, that they've taken away the headers. But anyway, you get these 3 boxes, and it's shaded, so it starts off reasonably dark at the top, and then it gets lighter as you go down the page. And as is typical for Erin Condren, it will label the days, the weeks are color coded, right? So every month has its color. So if you see here that this is the first week of the planet, it starts on the 26th of June, which I can't wait for. I'm really excited to start using this. And so June is purple and then July is red, and so you get both colors on the same page, which I really like. And you can see here at the top that it has this mid-century circles design, and so you get purple on this side and then red on this side. So that was the thing that really drew me to this planner, is how colorful it is on the inside. I don't know of another bound planner that has all of these colors, and I really like that because, as you know, I am a complete sucker for hardbound planners. So on the left here you get this little box and it doesn't say anything. So I think that's quite nice because you can use that for a highlight of the week or for gratitude or to draw a little picture, whatever you want, but it gives you this little box here, and then it gives you a whole line of notes for notes here down the left, or whatever you want to use it for, tracking or whatever. And then you also get 4 lines per day. So for me this would not work as my main planner because I like to have lots of space to write, so the Hobonichi works much better than for me because it has small grid boxes, so you can really fit a lot in to a small space. And the lines are quite big, so you would not be able to get a huge amount of detail on. But I think it's really nice if you wanted to use it, say like I'm planning to use this as my home planner, and it's perfect because, as you can see, it lays flat and it's big, so you can just leave it out on the table and really easily see everything. And I think that it would work perfectly for that, just to have a few lines of notes at the bottom of every day. And this would be perfect for a shopping list, for example. So you've got this little space between every day, so you kind of lose a bit of room there, I guess, but each day is quite clearly delineated. In terms of stickers, I'm not sure. I've seen some videos where I think that they said that the stickers that fit in the classic Erin Condren are a little bit too small for these. I've never had Erin Condren stickers, so I don't really know. I looked at trying to test out some Happy Planner stickers in here, and it seems to me that the Happy Planner boxes are actually a bit bigger than this for the like the full box stickers for the Happy Planner, but I think you could definitely use the quote stickers and a lot of the Happy Planner stickers, which is what I'm planning to do because I have a ton of them and I love them. So I think that they would fit reasonably well, even though they might not match exactly. And I'm not sure about the headers. I'm going to try using some of the headers in this because I think that they'll be a similar size, if not identical. So you also get this ribbon bookmark, which is great. You only get one, but I think that's okay because, as you can see, the months are interspersed with the weeks. So if you're on a particular week, it's not that hard to flip back and find the month because it will only be a couple of pages away. I personally like it better the other way around, when they have all of the months at the beginning followed by all of the weeks, so that you just get an uninterrupted flow of weeks. But this is fine. This is the way they do it in the spiral Erin Condren, so it wasn't really a surprise that it's done like this. The only thing to keep in mind, I guess, is that you don't have tabs. So it depends on what you use your months for. For this, because this is going to be our home planner, I was thinking of using the monthly spread as a place to write a highlight of the day that James and I would do together. So it would be a way of ending the day on a positive note, and we can both put in a highlight of the day in here. So it won't be that hard to find, and we won't need to flip back and forth a lot. But if you're using this for tracking, say, which I do in I use the monthly spreads in some of my other planners for tracking, then I like to have all the months together so that I can easily compare them to each other. So this is kind of difficult because if you want to see, I don't know, say if you're using it for spending and you want to see how much you spent in January and then compare it to February and March, you kind of have to flip through until you find the right monthly tab. Or you could put tabs on yourself, that's another option. So sometimes you get a quote at the top of the page. The best way to get things done is to begin. So once upon a time, maybe like 2 years ago, I used to find these quotes really cheesy and annoying, and I thought I would never buy a planner that has these silly quotes in it. And then I bought my first Happy Planner because I wanted to try the discband system, and that has the same kind of quotes. And because I liked the Happy Planner, I ended up building up some kind of immunity to the quotes, so now they don't bother me at all, and I actually kind of like them. But it's sort of funny because these quotes are, I think, the sort of thing that either you like them or you don't like them. So you get a quote in, I think it's 1 week a month. Yeah, and it also labels the top of the day if there's a holiday. So here it's US Independence Day, so it labels that there. So as you can see, every week in the month is the same color scheme, everything is the same, except the week where you have the quote, and then it goes into the next month. And so you can see this is August, which is a different color. Also, I'll just show you what each month looks like. September. And you can see sometimes you get a little decoration. So here it says autumn begins and it has this little orange leaf. So it's kind of nice. So switching over from August to September. Then we have October, Halloween with a little pumpkin. November. December. January, February, March, April, and as you can see, by the way, it's cycling through a few different colors. So you can see here on the side, you can kind of see which month it is from the color, which is sort of convenient actually. That's another way that if you wanted to find the right month, you could go to the beginning of that color and find it. So it doesn't actually have a full rainbow. It doesn't have yellow, and it doesn't really go in the order of the rainbow. So it has red, and then this kind of pink, then orange, then blue, then turquoise, then purple, then back to red. So it's kind of similar to the rainbow, but not exactly, but enough to make it really bright and happy. May, June, and the month for the 2 years where there's an overlap, because it's an 18-month planner, the same month will be the same color in both years. So this is June 2018, and you just get the very end of June 2017. You can see that's purple as well, if that makes sense. So both Junes are purple, and then it will cycle back again through the same colors. So July 2018 is red, just like July 2017. But there aren't that many colors. So in contrast to, say, the Hobonichi, which is like my gold standard for planners, where every month has a different color, this only has, like, you know, these maybe 5 or 6 different colors, and then it cycles through them again. So I guess it's more like the Inkwell Press in that respect. Then we have August, which is the same kind of peachy pink again. September, October, November, and December 2018. And then, once you get to the end, it goes until the first week of January, so the end of December / beginning of January 2019, my goodness. Then we get some lined pages with a little asterisk at the top. So you get about 10 pages, and you can see that the color of the asterisk at the top changes. And then you get 6 pages of dot grid, which I really like. I am always a fan of dot grid. And then you get about 6 pages of just blank, which I never know what to do with because I don't draw, and I don't like writing on blank pages because my writing always ends up being crooked. But it's nice that you get a bit of variety. And then at the end you get this really nice spread which has the whole of 2019. So what I really like about this is that it doesn't only give you the calendar, it gives you a little bit of room. It gives you 3 lines underneath each month to write appointments, and I think that this is useful, not so much in this case for what I'm going to use this for, but if you were using this as your main planner, if you have appointments that you need to write down for the following year, this is the perfect place to put them. It's at the end of the planner. You can check the dates, and then you can write down, say, like March 27th, you've got this appointment or something, and it actually gives you space to write, and then it gives you some more blank space down here. And then this is the end. So you get this nice end page with the silver foil and this little quote, "Your best accomplishment isn't that you finished, it's that you had the courage to start." and that's the end. So in terms of paper, those of you who saw my video on the small version will know the paper on this feels quite thick. It's very, very matte. I would say if I had to compare it to something, in terms of how it feels quite similar to the paper in the Happy Planner, but I would say it feels maybe a little bit rougher, but kind of similar. So matte, not at all glossy. If you think of, say, the Lime Life planner, if any of you have tried that, it's not at all like that. It's very, very matte. And like feels like it has a little bit of tooth. And then in terms of how it takes fountain pen, this is the same paper as in the small version. So I did a pen test in here, and you can see I used all extra fine and fine fountain pens and one medium. And this is how it does. There's a lot of ghosting and some bleed through. So it's not great for fountain pens, which is a little disappointing because compared to the Happy Planner takes fountain pens fantastically. There's no ghosting, there's no bleed through. And for paper that feels kind of similar, I was hoping that it would be the same, but it's not. So in this particular planner, the big one, I'm going to be using this just with stickers. I'm just going to put stickers down and write on the stickers, so it's not going to have an effect, but just keep that in mind if you're a fountain pen user. I'm assuming that it would be okay with gel pens, but I haven't tried because I don't have any gel pens. And obviously with ballpoint it would be okay. So somebody told me when I made the last video, because I couldn't find any information about what kind of paper this was compared to the paper that is being used in the spiral planners, apparently this paper is more similar to the paper that was used in the spiral bound Erin Condren's last year, if that's of any help. So this year she upgraded the paper in the spiral planners, and apparently that's now much better quality and people are really enthusiastic about it, but that's not in these planners. So I don't know if that's going to change next year or not, but for now, if you're familiar with the paper that she used in the spiral planners last year, apparently that's more what this is like. So in terms of how it feels, like it feels fine. I would personally like it to be a little bit more on the glossy side, but this is absolutely fine. It feels okay, it's just that it doesn't take fountain pen very well. So depending on how you want to use it, that may or may not be an issue. So yeah, that is the large Erin Condren hardbound planner. Overall, just like the small one, I really like it. My only complaint is with the paper quality, but I can live with that. I really like the feel of it. I really like the design. I like the colors. Like I said, I wish that the colors were not so muted, but it's still really vibrant and colorful, and I like the fact that it has all of these different colors. And I think that you could use this if you wanted to use it in a more professional environment. Like sometimes people say that they feel like the Erin Condren is too bright and colorful to be able to take into work. I think that this is probably okay because the cover is very understated, and on the inside it is colorful, but I don't know, I guess it depends on what your work environment is like. This wouldn't bother me because it's mostly like one color per spread, so it you know, it looks I think it doesn't feel childish to me, and I think these designs are very elegant and classic, so that, I mean, I'm going to use this at home, so that's not an issue. But I think that this is, it's a really nice layout as well, and I think if you like the Erin Condren designs but you're not keen on spiral planners, this is perfect because it just feels like this nice, heavy, sturdy, hardbound book, and it's very satisfying. So I hope that you found this useful. Please let me know if you've got any questions that I didn't address in the video. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!